We're in the Bahamas, 700 islands of coral and sand, blue skies and glorious aquamarine waters. Most people come here for a holiday and a bit of dream time among the open-hearted locals. But we're here for one of the most unusual and interesting sailing competitions of the year, the Star Sailors League Grand Slam final, hosted by Nassau Yacht Club. 40 of the world's most outstanding sailors have either qualified or been invited to this showpiece event. The 12 top-ranked star sailors in the league have battled through the year to earn their spot at the final, with a jackpot prize fund of $200,000. These include top-ranked skipper Diego Negri from Italy, sailing with Sergio Lambertenghi. Plus George Szabo, past world champion and winning skipper of the Lake Grand Slam in Switzerland. Among the invitees are Hamish Pepper, a Kiwi with a long track record in the Olympics, America's Cup and match racing. Jochen Schumann is Germany's best ever sailor, with 3 Olympic gold medals and a silver, plus 2 America's Cup wins to his name. American Hall of Famer Paul Kayard has 7 Cup campaigns under his belt, plus a Volvo Ocean Race win and 7 world titles, putting a bit of gym time in there too. And the SSL tradition of inviting a rookie or two continues with Lorenzo Chiavarini, a young Brit from the Olympic laser class.
The competition will be for sure super tough because all the sailors are very, very good. The laser sailors are good in tactics and good in tacking close to the marks, and fin sailors are super good in downwind legs. And then there are super sailors as Jochen Schumann, Paul Kayard. So everybody is a super high level, already big victories in their life, and just competing here for fun and to prove themselves they are still very high level.
Did we mention Ian Williams, 5 times world match racing champion? Well, he's here too with crew Stevie Mitchell. They have 3 days of racing as a fleet of 20 boats.
The top-ranked team, the Italians, led off the bat in the light air of the first race.
Xavier Rohart, Pierre-Alexis Ponceau, just being tacked on, not happy.
But the French eventually won the battle over the Italians, taking the first win of the series. Hamish Pepper got off to a good start in race 2, but it was an Italian-French war again, with the Italians taking the win.
Negri seems to have just a little ounce of extra speed.
I was surprised to have such good performance in light breeze, but so far looks great and we are confident and relaxed, no problem.
Race 3, Pepper dusted off the cobwebs of not star sailing since the 2012 Olympics. Alongside teammate Bruno Prada, they led around the course, followed by Rohart and the Polish in 2nd and 3rd. Race 4 was a German domination, with Polger and Coy leading from start to finish. In 2nd was Pepper Prada, with recent regatta winner George Szabo finishing 3rd.
I really had to get myself together to win that last race, so now we are just on the way to the crane, and I hope he's happy.
Standings on day 1 have New Zealand's Pepper and Brazil's Prada in 3rd, Italians Negri Lambertenghi in 2nd, and the French Rohart Ponceau in 1st.
The key was to have a very risky start, to be really forward as early as you can, and then the key was also to have the good speed upwind.
Day 2 of 4, the sun's out, breeze building. Now here are Jochen's 3 Olympic gold medals, starting with Kingston in 1976, sailing for the then East Germany.
It's just the fact that I got invited. I feel very happy and honored to be among the star fleet. It's obviously a very competitive fleet with a lot of rock stars from all the classes in the past, coming from fin and laser, and the current laser champions are here as well. So it's a real pleasure to be here, and I think we had started with a good day. At the moment, I think overall we ranked 7th, which is, I would say, above our expectations. So we are very pleased at the moment. but we saw how tough it is. We had nearly a last place in the last race, which probably was a little bit too much on the first day, four races in a row. But otherwise, yeah, no, we're trying our best, and at the moment we are pleased with the result, and there's more to come.
After a general recall, racing got off to a bang with current leaders Rohart Ponceau over the line, which gave an opening to the Italians to take an early lead around the first mark. The left paid with the Croatian's Gaspik Sitic overhauling the Italians. It was a day for the invitees, with Americans Kayard and Sharp performing well. But Gaspik never looked in doubt.
First downwind, we had a good idea what we want to do, and we nailed the ley line. So we just made it in front, and the rest was easy because we knew that the wind was shifting a little bit right. So we were expecting that one coming, and we played the game quite good.
With a clean start in race 6, the top French were back on track. Taking the lead and the race with 100 meters to spare.
Everything was really perfect. We built this victory, so we hope to have the same on the next one.
More VIP teams were in the hunt on the final race, with Germans Schumann Burkowski and Brits Williams Mitchell rounding the top mark 1-2. Schumann held off hard-charging Italians Negri and the French for the win. After 2 days, the French remain at the top, the Italians still second, with the Polish moving up into third. But the cutoff after 2 races tomorrow will be that all-important 11th spot. Congratulations, Ian. Pretty good day today. Has you guys sitting 10th. So qualifying so far, are you happy with that?
Oh yeah, we're over the moon really to be in 10th at this point. I think when we came here we were expecting to be somewhere near the back, and if we got a chance at qualifying, that's amazing.
With only 11 going through, it will be a make or break final 2 races of qualifying. No wind meant no racing this morning at the Star Sailors League finals. This afternoon, a thunderstorm brought breeze, but also lightning, so racing was canceled for the day. Good news for Xavier Rohart, who still sits atop the leaderboard, which means tomorrow you get to skip the quarterfinals, going straight into the semifinals. Do you think that is helpful for you guys or hurtful once you get to the semis?
Regarding the weather, I think it's quite helpful because it's not really predictable at the moment what's going to be tomorrow with this big front around Miami and over us. So we don't know if light winds, strong winds or rain, so it's always better to be on the top.
Jochen Schumann, you are 5th here in your first International Star Regatta. You're easily making the knockout rounds tomorrow. Were you expecting to do so well?
Not really. So we are very pleased finishing and qualifying actually for the knockout series. And 5th is actually an unbelievable result. We have a lot of golden stars around us. We're the only red star. So that shows that we are overachieving a little bit at the moment.
So Schumann has made the cut-off for the quarters. He now faces 9 of the best crews to make the semis. This is the dramatic knockout end of the championship. Welcome back to the beautiful Bahamas, 700 islands of coral paradise. In our Star Sailors League Grand Slam final, 11 teams have made it through to the last day of racing. Top of the leaderboard, Rohart and Ponceau earn a bye to the semis, which leaves 10 teams battling in the quarters. Only 6 will go through. Will that include Ian Williams, 5 times match racing world champion? Or German legend Jochen Schumann? Or Kuzniewicz and Jitski, the dangerman from Poland? Or indeed Paul Kayard, a famous face from the world of sailing?
Oh, I just love star sailing. I started sailing when I was 18, so it's just in my blood, and I'll sail stars till the day I die. 2 days ago it was a nice forecast, 10-12 knots from the northeast, and last night it was saying 2 to 3 knots from everywhere. So, part of sailing is being ready to adapt to anything. Right now what we can see is a nice little breeze, 6-7 knots from the east, and let's hope it builds a little bit.
So 3 races to go, the quarters, semis and finals, where just 4 teams will battle for the lion's share of the $200,000 prize purse. Pin end, far end of the line, it's Pepper and Prada hitting the line perfectly. Schumann tacks quickly out of the middle. Banaz and Rambo here taking the right-hand side. Schumann and Borkowski, the crewmen, keeping low in light air. Now ducking behind the French duo. And Jitski with Kuzniewicz, the gold medalist from Poland. These guys always in the mix. Now Virtual Eye giving us the strategic overview. Szabo and Natucci have the lead in this first beat upwind. And they're engaging Hamish Pepper with his Brazilian crewman Bruno Prada in the middle. Pepper ducking just behind Szabo. Well, nice manoeuvring there from Pepper and Prada. They've judged the first leg perfectly to hit that top mark in first place. It's still light in this quarterfinal, so gently does it, keeping that airflow over the sails. And they've pulled out a decent lead over Szabo Natucci. And in third is Johannes Polgar with Markus Koy from Germany. Now remember, only the top 6 go through to the semis, so the pressure is on the back 4 now, which includes Williams, Kuzniewicz and Schumann. Jochen Schumann looking poised at the helm, and he's beginning to reel in some boats downwind. Rounding the top mark again, lap 2, and Szabo and Natucci up in the lead. Round that spreader mark, and Kayard Sharp, Polgar Koy and Banaz Rambo follow round on the final downwind leg. Stepanovic Canali, then Pepper and Prada are squeezing into the top 6 qualifiers for the semis. Well, the Kiwi-Brazilian pair have dropped a few places on the second lap, and the heat is on. In 7th, the danger zone, Sergio Lambertenghi sets the whisker pole for the downwind leg. Crossing the finish line, Szabo and Natucci go through. The top 6 have hung in there, but Negri and Lambertenghi couldn't pull back a place on the final leg of the quarters. They will be gutted just to miss out on the semis. So, in red, Negri and Lambertenghi, Kuzniewicz and Jitski, Williams and Mitchell, and Jochen Schumann with Ingo Borkowski are out of the competition. Rohard and Ponso now meet the qualifying 6 for the semis, where only the top 4 will qualify for the finals. Polgar Koy from Germany, Pepper with New Zealand on the sail, nice start in the middle, and France, Rohard Ponso take the pin end. Nice job by the French duo. Szabo and Natucci have a shocker in the second row, and now last. They've not made life easy for themselves. Paul Kayard, the wily American, with Brian Sharp furthest right, tacking into the fleet now. But the right hand has paid handsomely for Polgar and Koy, Rohard and Ponso, and Pepper with Prada. Just a boat length in it as the German duo round ahead of Frenchman Rohard and Ponso, who earned that bye through the quarters. They've sailed brilliantly here in Nassau. Hamish Pepper, first time back in the stars since the 2012 Olympics. All those skills coming out for the SSL finals. and the other French duo, Bernaz and Rimbaud, are fourth. Oh, but a penalty turn is going to slow these guys down. That opens the door to Szabo and Nattucci right behind. Pierre-Alexis Ponceau looking calm and collected on the foredeck, calling the shots with Xavier Rohard on the helm. Polgar Coy, Pepper Prada are in. Szabo Nattucci scrapping for that fourth place with Bernaz Rimbaud. Bruno Prada, Olympic silver and bronze medalist, teaming up with Kiwi Pepper for this, currently third in the SSL semis. Rohard and Ponceau keep their grip on first, but only just. Polgar and Coy a couple of boat lengths behind. Pepper and Prada round the bottom gate, but the big battle is right behind Bernaz and Rimbaud, duking it out with Szabo and Nattucci. Almost a simultaneous gate rounding. Kayard and Sharp are in the danger zone. Can they work through the top four on the next lap? Well, they have some ground to make up. And look at this, Kiwi Pepper with Brazilian Prada blasting up into first on this upwind leg. They've taken a huge chunk out of Germans Polgar and Coy, Rohard and Ponceau, who've dropped back to third. Oh, and here's the story of the semis. George Szabo and Eduardo Nattucci have climbed ahead of Bernaz and Rimbaud. They had a shocking start, but are scrapping their way into the final here. Superb sailing by Pepper and Prada. They are through to the finals. A well-earned handshake. Rohard and Ponceau have clawed back into second. That's enough for the finals. They'll be pleased with that. And look, Szabo and Nattucci up into third. George Szabo won the Grand Slam on the lake, and he's known as a fine light wind sailor, so conditions suiting his helming style here in Nassau. Johannes Polgar and Marcus Coy slide through into fourth and that prestigious spot in the final.
We were just out to the right of the boats on the second beat and just got a little bit more pressure and got back into the race. So yeah, so we from there we were able to control the opposition a little bit and force them the wrong way into a little bit of lighter air, and we extended, and then there was just staying in front between them and the finish line.
Let's see how Hamish and Bruno get on in the SSL Grand Slam final now. 4 boats, $200,000 on the table, 40,000 for the top team, 30 for second, each place here worth quite a bit of cash. Szabo tacks from the middle, and Pepper scrapping at the pin end with Rohard. That could slow them down. Polgar furthest right up the track. Oh dear, a penalty turn for Pepper and Prada. That's really going to slow them down. Must have been a start line incident. And you can see how much they've lost there. And Rohard Ponceau doing a turn. The umpires watching these teams closely for any infringements, and maybe the two were related. But that's both Rohard and Pepper in the back row, with Szabo and Polgar neck and neck towards the first mark. Now they engage. Szabo on starboard, right-of-way boat, and he has to tack, so he red flags the Germans. And Polgar Coy do their penalty turn immediately. Well, that's remarkable. A simple port starboard incident in the SSL Grand Slam final. Perhaps it's a sign of the pressure these guys are under. And you can see how much they've lost through that. So, Szabo Nattucci, the only team not to have any penalties against them. And away they go. Still, Pepper and Prada have worked their way up front. They're pouring their exhaust onto Szabo and Natucci. And that's the story around the first top mark rounding. Rohart and Ponso bringing up the rear. Well, at the bottom gate, the French duo have pulled back some distance on the Germans. Pepper Prada still duking it out at the front with Szabo Natucci. And how close is that? The top two teams right next to each other, each taking a different gate mark, rounding at the same time. Rohart Ponso in third. Well, Pepper Prada in fine form. Great upwind speed to make the top mark ahead of Szabo Natucci. That's a decent lead they've got over the fleet. Rohart Ponso have made a few metres on the leaders, and they're in this. The breeze beginning to fade a little. And some big tactical decisions going on here. Pepper Prada breaking away, and at the moment giving the lead to Szabo Natucci with the French duo second. Wow, that's not a textbook move. Our camera lining up all three boats. No pumping allowed this race, the wind is too light. Szabo and Natucci gunning for the finish line, and with the power of the right-hand side, as we look down, well, 3 of these 4 have led at one stage in this final, and it's coming down to the last few metres. The battle for second is incredibly close. Through the finish line now, and George Szabo and Eduardo Natucci have won the Star Sailors League Grand Slam final in the Bahamas, and these two absolutely stoked. Pepper and Prada just make second. George Szabo takes his second SSL Grand Slam gold this year after winning the Lake event in Switzerland. That's 2 40-grand checks in 1 year. Drinks on old George. That's it for the Bahamas. Do join us again for the City Grand Slam in Hamburg, Germany.
This is such a great event. There's just no spaces on the start line. If you're looking for a marshmallow or someone easy to start with, there's no one there in that fleet. And when you screw up a little bit, the fleet tells you and they send you back 5 places. It's just so much fun to race against these guys. And we just have to remember to go out and have fun and keep racing hard. And today we tried to just find pops and shifts, and some were there for us and some weren't. And it was just a tough day. It was just a game of leapfrog out there. And God, it was fantastic sailing.